Justice. This is the Halls of Justice. Welcome. This is the Halls of Justice. Are you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, live on stage, Justice.
All right, welcome to the Halls of Justice this week. I got a special treat for everybody. We have a guest with us. Was going to be in the studio, but family members get sick at my house, and I don't want to bring anybody in and infect them. So we're just going to have her on the phone today. It's Dr. X. And Dr. X is going to give us some real-life stories from ERs in the area. Funny stories, I hope. And we'd like to say a big welcome to the Halls of Justice to Dr. X.
Well, hello, everybody. How are you?
I don't think they're going to answer you, but they're all doing fine.
Well, hopefully they're all doing great. Not coming to visit me anytime soon.
No. Now, how long have you been working in the medical field?
I have been in the medical field now for about 20 years. I have seen some crazy things.
I would have to bet that 80% of the time it's probably run-of-the-mill. And when I say run-of-the-mill, nothing is ever run-of-the-mill in the medical field, but routine stuff. But you've got to have those cases from time to time where you just shake your head and you say, now, how the hell did that happen?
Many, many times. Actually, more than you would think. And guys, you guys are the worst.
Well, of course, because we're guys.
Guys seem to have an addiction with a certain appendage on their body.
Okay, I see where we're going on this.
For some reason, if they can get it to stay longer or larger, they're going to do whatever is possible to do this. Let me promise you, Gorilla Glue does not work. This works bad. This is bad for anybody who wants to try it. We do not get things hard and pour Gorilla Glue on them to keep them that way. You will be in pain.
So I've used Gorilla Glue before, and it reacts with water and moisture, and your skin has a lot of both in it, and it is some sticky stuff. So you're telling me that you've had somebody come to see you that actually put Gorilla Glue on their penis?
I have had somebody come to see me. Do you know how they put this Gorilla Glue on themselves? With their hands.
Did they mistake it for something else? Or was it?
No. He really thought that, Gorilla Glue being the strongest thing out there, that if he were able to make himself hard, that the Gorilla Glue would keep him in that manner so that he would be able to go longer.
I'm guessing it didn't work.
I'm guessing he didn't even get to first base on that one.
So you pour Gorilla Glue on yourself with your hand. Does your hand, did he come in with his hand stuck to his member?
There was one hand stuck. It also dries very quickly. However, getting it off, not so easy. I'm sure the man is probably still in pain today.
So nail polish remover is not going to do it?
Oh, no. Nail polish remover is not going to do it. He did end up in surgery.
So they physically had to cut his hand from himself?
Right.
Oh, my gosh. That is so not cool.
No, I can also tell you that if you come in because you can't sit, probably the best thing is not to put bottles in places they should not be.
So, if somebody comes into you, how do they tell you that I've got a bottle in my butt? Do they say, I was going to sit down and I didn't see it, and I happened to be naked?
We've had a few of these. Some stories are that it was just an accident. Others are, they were experimenting and they thought it would be a fun thing to do. Not fun.
Now,
Coronas
are we talking
to be?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that Coronas are you're supposed to drink them.
Did they have a line?
They are not a bottle accessory. Yes. We don't wear beer bottles.
Okay,
they do, however, take great pictures in X-rays.
So we're talking beer bottles and not 2 liters.
We're talking just the regular beer bottles. Yes.
Glass bottles, no less.
Yes, yeah. Because it's shaped where you have the handle at the top. Unbeknownst to people, your body actually becomes a suction. So when you think this is going in nicely, you have now just sucked the entire thing up into your rectum.
Oh, ouch.
That's not coming out.
Let me guess. Surgery.
Absolutely. Insurance companies make a killing off of dumb mistakes that people make, all in the effort to have a better sex life.
I'm 48 years old, and I consider myself open-minded, but I've never considered putting a beer bottle where it doesn't belong.
You probably also never considered the idea of putting a pencil into the tip of your penis.
No.
Yeah.
And why? Why did people do this?
Well,
let me
that
guess.
one was on.
It keeps it firmer longer because I have a pencil in it.
Absolutely.
So, do you see these people when they first come in, or have they already spoken to the receptionist area there, and then they come and see you?
Usually it is they have spoken to someone else, and then I get to go in and see them. It's very hard to keep a space. Yeah,
so does the receptionist... I don't even know if that's the right word. The lady who you first see or guy, when they come to you, do they say, "You're not going to believe this. There's a guy out here has a pencil in his penis"?
Absolutely, they do. I mean, if you're going to make a mistake, everybody's going to laugh at you. There is no way around it.
Do you whisper that when you go in? Because they always ask what the issue is. Do you need to be seen? And yes. Well, what are your symptoms? I got a number 2 in my number 1.
It's usually something along the lines of, well, I think that I have a pencil in my penis. Wouldn't you know that you put it there?
Yeah, I'm not in. That's a whole nother meaning of the term would.
Right, getting the lead out. Absolutely. Totally different function for number 2 pencils.
Now, are you able to remove this without surgery? I would think you could get a pencil out. I mean, if you could put a catheter in, can you get a pencil out?
You can if somebody's willing to try and pull it out. It's very painful for the person. You would have to actually get a forceps and try to grab a hold of it and pull it out. Luckily, this gentleman still had some of it hanging out, so it could be pulled out. He needs tests afterwards. Of course, they don't stop to think of the damage they may be doing to themselves in their body. These things are not meant to be put in bodies.
I'm just cringing as we think about it. I'm picturing this in my mind, and holy smokes. So you do this, and then you think to yourself, I got to go to the doctor. And then Now that is a Facebook status right there. Just shoved the pencil in my penis on the way to the ER.
Yes, I am now urinating lead. Absolutely. I'm sure he was proud of himself. He's made his parents very proud as well, I'm sure.
Anybody ever deal with anybody famous? Maybe not in this, I'm putting things in my body, but has anybody famous ever come across your place?
I don't believe I've actually seen anybody famous come in. Who wants to? I mean, they have their own personal doctors, unless they're dying. No, most famous people stay away. I don't want to go to where I work.
How about accidents, true accidents that happen? We live not very far from the lake. Has anybody caught a fish hook, anything like that, places that maybe they shouldn't have?
I often wonder why some people could be fishing naked. Mm-hmm.
Catfish.
I'm not quite sure what they were using for bait, but yes, there have been hooks in various parts of the body. And let me tell you, those hooks go in, but there's barbs on them. They don't come out quite as easily. Oh. So I think actually what happened was she was trying to pierce her nipple with the fish hook and thought the line would pull things through. That, yes, again, trying to save money on things that you could go out and buy and have done nicely. Instead, you're cheap and dumb and try to do them yourselves. Do not pierce nipples with fish hooks.
How many of these things start off with somebody saying, "Watch this, hold my beer"?
I'm sure that this one started off in a fishing boat saying, yeah, we've been drinking. Let's pierce the nipple. I won't feel it. It'll be good. You can do it. Go ahead.
So my next question is, you see the commercials for like Cialis, Viagra, those kind of things, and they tell you, if you experience an erection for longer than 4 hours, you should seek immediate medical treatment. Has anybody ever sought immediate medical treatment?
No. They wait a good 8 to 12 hours.
How are they even walking at that point?
They're usually not.
And
they don't stay. The circulation gets cut off. Things get enlarged. Things get purple. It's not pretty. It's take one. Don't take multiple thinking that more is better. That will also put you in surgery.
Man. All righty. We're coming up on a break. On the other side of the break, I'm going to ask you how you cure that. Is it like the movies where you have to inject them with whatever it was, adrenaline or whatever? So we got to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to find out the answer to that question right after this. Are you getting married or know somebody that is? Do you need a DJ for your party special event? Well, Music Masters Entertainment. Music Masters Entertainment has been in business since 1984 and have performed at hundreds of weddings. Music Masters Entertainment offers the complete sound and light show. They will MC your wedding reception, birthday party, class reunion, or whatever your needs are. Music Masters Entertainment. Look them up online at musicmastersentertainment.com. And that's music with a K. MUSIKMASTERS. musicmasters.com. Or you can find them on Facebook at www.facebook.com/musicmasters. Music Masters has 3 packages and can fit anybody's budget. Music Masters Entertainment. Let them provide a musical atmosphere for your wedding, reception, or any special event.
Would you like to be a sponsor or advertise on the Halls of Justice? Email us today at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. That's Halls of Justice, spelled JUSTUS, at roadrunner.com. If you have a show idea or like to be a guest, you can email us as well at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com.
You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you.
What do all men with power want? More power.
It's my time now. I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're almost out of beer.
He was like a god walking amongst mere mortals.
You have chosen wisely.
I'm surprised. They don't see me coming.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Do you ever have that feeling you were just born for greatness?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Try to relax. This will feel a little weird.
Do not attempt to adjust your device. We are in control. Taking you to the deepest recesses of your mind. Bringing back lost memories and providing the best in entertainment. This is the Halls of Justice. He is your host, Justus.
And welcome back to the Halls of Justice. Dr. X is on the phone with us, and when we let off at the break, we were talking about guys that were experiencing erections for a long time after taking multiple Viagras or Cialises or anything like that. What's the cure, Dr. X? How do you solve this issue?
Usually it is not an injection. Usually, as I said, this will go into surgery because pressure needs to be released. Unfortunately, in this area, there are not a lot of people who are experienced with that. So you are also now looking at a ride out into a bigger city.
Whoa.
So, yes, yeah. So,
not only do I have to explain to one group of people about it, now I get shipped off to another place, and they already know I'm coming.
Right, and you get to pay for that large insurance bill with the ride all the way to another place. Absolutely. So you now have at least 50 people mocking you, but it gives a good laugh to the medical personnel. So thank you for all of the dumb antics that people can do.
So can you lose your testicles over that?
Yes, you can. You can lose a lot over that.
Oh, man, guys, seriously, one. It says one, just one.
They're dumb. You know, and also the people who decide that it should be a family fun day, that is a huge pet peeve to me. I don't know who decides.
Like they bring everybody with them or what?
Yes. They wake up and, okay, so Mama Joan has a cough that she's been dealing with for a week. And, you know, Papa Don decided, hey, let's go out into the garage and use a saw while drinking, and decides to slash through his hand. Well, you'd think they would just take him. No. Now, as long as they're going to make the trip, let's please bring little Susie and Ben because they've had, you know, an eye draining, or this one's had a runny nose, or it becomes an entire family gathering. Instead of families now going out to Chuck E. Cheese or to the movies, it becomes family fun day, the hospital.
Oh, I get it. So here's a question for you, and this isn't a story-related question. This is more of a serious question. Do you see families that can't afford insurance and aren't provided insurance through work using emergency rooms as their primary care physician?
Every single day. Unfortunately, it is the state of the economy right now. Some of them are using it, and we're being penalized for it. We have a lot of people who do not have insurance whatsoever, so they do come for the smallest things, hangnails, toothaches, and we have to pay for that. We have to do it. But there's also, you know, people who don't have homes now. They come in, and guess what? If they don't have homes, they don't have cars either. So they're coming in by ambulance for a place that's warm.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that is horrible. So you said they come in for toothaches. I've had a toothache before, and it's been on a Friday or Saturday. The dentist's office has been closed, and they don't have an answering service, so I suck it up and wait till Monday. Is there anything you could do at the emergency room for a toothache?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So
we don't have a dentist in the emergency room. We can give you some medicine. We can give you antibiotics for any kind of infection. But guess what? You still got to go see the dentist. So your best choice was to suck it up and go to the dentist.
Right.
Or, brush your teeth.
Good point. Good point.
My Lord, a lot of people come in and they have a toothache because they only have one tooth. Brush your teeth.
What about drug seekers? You've got to run across them. People coming in claiming that they've had a backache. They're trying to get narcotics. And I don't know how interconnected all the medical facilities are, but maybe they went to the clinic at Fairview, Beechwood, Sandusky, and you're third or fourth on the list. Is there a way to combat them? And you have to recognize them right off the bat. I would think that by now, at 20 years in, you know who is legitimately in pain and who is drug seeking.
Yeah, there are many of them that come in. The the frequent flyers, they do come in for their drugs. I can look in the computer and see where you've been, what prescriptions you've had filled, what you have taken, and what you should have. And it goes throughout wherever you've gone to have prescriptions filled. I can see that. So please don't come in telling me you're allergic to Motrin, you're allergic to aspirin, you're allergic to, now people can be allergic to Demerol or morphine because they want these stronger pain medication drugs. And then they'll tell me that they've had this pain and no relief whatsoever, but I'll look in the computer and see, hey, no, you went to your pain management doctor and just had a bottle of Percocet filled yesterday. Where are these pills? I'm not that stupid. So no, we don't have to give it to them. They do get very angry, sometimes violent. And of course they're going to yell and scream that they are not drug abusers. I'm sorry, if you just had a bottle of 30 Percocet filled yesterday and you're telling me you don't have any left, I think you abused them somewhere. No, be in pain.
What about, I've lost them. I spilled them in the toilet or down the drain.
Yeah.
What do they have to do then? Do they got to go to their own doctor and get another prescription, or do they come to an emergency room facility after hours thinking that's going to work?
They come to the emergency room after hours thinking that's going to work. It does not. And actually, the law does not allow us to fill narcotic prescriptions within a certain amount of time of having one previously. So they're just out of luck. And, of course, they're very angry. And, of course, Dilaudid is a huge pain medicine. It's one of the stronger ones. So the people that come in saying, yeah, the only thing that works for me is something, I forget the name, starts with a D, something like Delala. I'm not sure. Now, we know right away, you're just coming in for drugs.
Yeah, I could see that. I have heard from friends that some of these people actually have a script that they follow. They've been doctor shopping so many times that they know exactly what to say to all the questions.
Yes, they do. And, of course, the people who don't want to wait in line, the first thing out of their mouth is, I have chest pain.
But now my back hurts.
Yeah. I'm coming in for my stub toe, but I have chest pain too. Please put me ahead of line. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I get it. Some people are legitimately in pain. I went through a back issue, and I could tell you right now, it is one of the most excruciating things ever. I still have to go monthly to a doctor to have it looked at. Every month he asks me, do you need any prescriptions? Do you need anything? And number one, that makes me feel weird. And number two, I always tell them no. But it just seems like they're just so willing to write them out, I guess.
Oh, pain management is big on writing them out. I've also gone through back problems and it needed to have surgery for it. And I remember walking in after the surgery saying, these Percocet that you're giving me are too strong. Can we cut it down? And the response was, well, I'm sorry, I wrote the prescription before you got here, so just cut the pill in half.
Awesome. I could sell the other half for $10.
The drug problem is as big as it is. So let me I'll cut them in half and I'll go sell the other half on the street corner. I'm sure I can make much more that way.
All right. I don't want to end on a downer note. We got about 4 or 5 minutes here left. So let's get back to the funny stories. I had talked enough about the seriousness and healthcare, insurance, and drug seekers. But now...
So let me attack the female. How's that one? I'm going to give the females one bit of advice. So also along the lines of sex, please, no cucumbers, no carrots. They break. I don't care how strong you think that cucumber is. It was not a good idea. No.
So no garden vegetables.
No garden vegetables. Those should stay in your mouth, not in your vagina.
Hot dogs, they're out.
Yeah, hot dogs out, definitely out. I mean, maybe the foot-long stadium hot dogs might work for your partner, but no hot dogs, plees. This should be...
Are the females more honest when they come in? They're like,
They are, but I find that the females are more food-oriented, whereas the males are more foreign object-oriented, and I don't understand the difference there, but... If a female comes in with something stuck in her, it's food. And a male, it's going to be a pencil, bobby pins.
Whoa. A bobby pin?
Many bobby pins, because you have to insert many bobby pins, thinking that they will pile one up on top of the other to keep the penis hard and erect.
Now, I've seen piercings and such, which makes me cringe knowing I could never do that. But how could you use a bobby pin, and not just one, but many stacked up?
Psychologically, the male has to be really, inserting something into that small hole would hurt anyway, but to do it multiple times, and it doesn't work. I promise it doesn't work. You are just stuck with an awkward-looking penis that, again, guess what it needs?
Surgery.
Yes.
So, are they usually drunk, or do they come in sober?
No, they come in sober. A few of them are drunk. Obviously, the beer bottle, I'm sure the guy was hitting that bottle first, but it didn't end up in the right place. But a lot of people are sober. They are just stupid.
Any of it part of a fraternity or sorority, anything along those lines?
No, I have not seen any college kids come in. These are usually people between their 30s and 50s, believe it or not.
Wow, so they're old enough to know better by far.
And still dumb enough to do it.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, this has been very enlightening. Next time, hopefully everybody in my family will be healthy. We'll have to have you here in the studio, and we'll sit down and we'll do a whole hour. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
It is Dr. X on the phone with us, giving us some great medical advice of things not to do. Ever. All right, Dr. X, thanks a lot for being on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Would you like to be a sponsor or advertise on the Halls of Justice? Email us today at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. That's Halls of Justice, spelled Justus at roadrunner.com. If you have a show idea or like to be a guest, you can email us as well at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com.
Are you getting married or know somebody that is? Do you need a DJ for your party special event? Well, Music Masters Entertainment. Music Masters Entertainment has been in business since 1984 and have performed at hundreds of weddings. Music Masters Entertainment offers the complete sound and light show. They will MC your wedding reception, birthday party, class reunion, or whatever your needs are. Music Masters Entertainment. Look them up online at musicmastersentertainment.com. And that's music with a K. MUSIKMASTERS. Musicmasters.com. Or you can find them on Facebook at www.facebook.com/musicmasters. Music Masters has 3 packages and can fit anybody's budget. Music Masters Entertainment. Let them provide a musical atmosphere for your wedding, reception, or any special event.
You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up 500,000 in soybeans and the next, boom.
Do not attempt to adjust your device.
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
You are about to enter the halls of justice.
Show me the money!
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Halls of Justice. Big thanks to Dr. X for her stories of medical craziness. But right now, from the Amherst forums, it's our favorite cousin Eddie. It's Eric Miller. Hey, welcome to the show, Eric.
Well, hello, how are you?
We're doing well tonight. So, the reason we're having you on is, number one, you're funny as heck on the forums, and there's a couple things I'd like to talk to you about.
All right.
So it's well known by all your posts that at least in the past you've worked at the drive-thru in Amherst, Smokers Outlet, Smokers Corner. What's it called?
The Smokers Outlet.
Smokers Outlet. So before we get to the serious question I want to ask you, I've got to imagine that in the time that you spend there, you've had to run across some crazy people that just shown up and are just off the wall. Is that the case or what?
Yeah, especially at the drive-thru. A lot of interesting people, especially in the summertime.
Do you get people that want to drive through the wrong way and don't realize it, or what do you get?
Yeah, we've had a couple of those. We actually had a couple of girls from New York that were a little drunk and had never seen a drive-thru before, and the passenger was topless, and they come through the wrong way, and came really close to hitting a guy in a Camaro who couldn't stop staring. Luckily, he had just stopped. He gets out trying to get their phone numbers and stuff, and they were pretty well lit for the day. We had to make a phone call and kind of have them escorted away because of the way they were acting and stuff. I couldn't just let that go, but that's some of the crazy stuff that would happen there, and it seemed, especially in the summertime, almost daily.
So my question is,
wrong way.
In New York, do they go to drive-thrus topless? Is that
no,
is that customary?
Actually,
I am moving
they don't have
there.
drive-thrus in New York. Well, they don't have drive-thrus in New York. They'd never seen one before.
Not one,
They had
huh?
no idea what it was. No, as far as I know, the way they talked, they were up from Syracuse way. They said they'd never seen anything like that.
But I suppose
And they just went in.
Yeah, I suppose if they're coming through the drive-thru backwards, but they're topless, then that's okay. That gives them the right of way.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you could tell they've been doing a lot of drinking that day.
Did she realize that she was topless? I mean, was this she was doing it on purpose, or?
Well, the way they talked, because I was trying to talk to them, it was, couldn't help but stare, but, I was asking, where are you coming from? Oh, we just come from my buddy's pool party, and I'm like, and you didn't think to finish getting dressed? Well, it was too hot, and I just took my top off. Oh, okay.
No pictures of that on the forum?
What's that?
I said no pictures of that on the website.
No. Yeah, no, I can't put any pictures like that on the forum. They might look down a little bit on that, a little bit of nudity.
Do you ever catch any flack for some of the things that you post that people don't quite realize that you're just screwing with them, or you're doing it just to see what reaction you get? Do you ever get people that are actually peed off at you?
Oh, yeah, a lot. I'll put up a meme or a picture or something, and knowing who I am, and most of the people on the forum know me, or now they know me through the forum, know that 9 times out of 10 I'm joking, and I'll put something up, and they'll think I'm either being, especially a lot of the women, I'll put up a post, they'll say I'm being sexist or something, and I'm like, no, it's just a joke. One got me in a lot of hot water with my boss, as I put up, it was a picture of just a woman smoking a cigarette sitting on a couch, and not to be too crude, but she, her knees look like, burned up a little bit, and the caption was, "Hey Holly, that's great, 3 promotions in 1 week. How'd you manage to do that?" Well, I put that up, and a bunch of women just jumped all over me, and then they started, "Whoa, is that how you got your promotion at work? You doing that for your boss?" And I'm like, doing what? I mean, you guys are the ones taking it somewhere else. Then when I put up the rest of the picture, sitting next to her was a bucket with a mop and everything in it. And I said, see, when you guys take things a little too far. But yeah, I kind of get in a little bit of trouble once in a while with them. I have to curb between, I have to be real careful with the bosses, what I put up, is I don't want to offend any customers at all. So that's why I try to stay away from political stuff. And
now, where are you at now?
Too racy. I still work for the same company, but they moved me over to the Smokers Outlet on Oberlin Avenue. I kind of pulled out of the drive-thru because it was too hard to do both, and they needed some help kind of getting things fixed over there. The place had been there for years, and they just bought it a few years ago, and they were having a lot of problems with some of the customers and stuff in there, and all they had working in there was 3 elderly lady, and one of them retired, and one decided to just get out, so they moved me over there to kind of balance things out, fix things a little bit.
Now,
because it was pretty rough.
Since we're on the subject of talking about rough things,
mm-hmm.
You had an incident, to put it lightly, back on December 8th. Where you're working at Smokers Outlet. Is that the same one, or is that a different one?
No, that was the same one. Yep, that was when they sent me over to help clean up, and they had an incident.
It was an armed robbery. It was four subjects, I guess, eventually got arrested for it. But, we've all seen the video, a couple different angles of it. And what do you think when a guy comes in and he's got a gun? Right off the rip, what goes through your mind?
Well, everybody's seen the video, so... And my bosses and the officers that responded first saw the mistake I made at the beginning. Most people didn't catch it. When I looked up and saw him right there, I just for some reason put my hands up a little bit and waved him on and stepped back and said, "Oh, this is what we're going to do. All right, let's go." The gun to me at first wasn't even a factor, but then I saw his buddies come around, and that's when I went, well... 3 to 4 on 1. I guess I'm done here. So it was just, and then I don't know what happened. He just kept saying, get down. Where's your gun? And I said, nope, I don't have one right now. And then, I did what he told me, which was get down. And for some reason, they knew how to open up my register. They knew where everything in the store was. They knew exactly what to do. But and I thought there was more because I couldn't really see nothing, and they kept walking past my head, and I didn't know at first it was the same guy. But the guy with the gun, the worst part was he just kept jabbing it right in the back of my neck, over and over, saying, "If you move, I'm going to pull the trigger. You're not going home. I'm going to kill you." And it got to the point where I wasn't scared anymore. I was just mad, and it was like, geez, if I could just get up. I really want to get a hold of this guy.
Man, I would think to me that would be the scariest part. If they sat me in the corner and I could watch, they could take whatever they wanted. But if they made me lay down on the ground where I couldn't see anything, I think that would start to freak me out.
Well, I was scared, but it didn't hit me. You know what I mean? It just... I couldn't make my body react to what I wanted to do. My brain kept saying, no, just stay down. But it got past I didn't get scared really until afterwards. It was just anger. And then and some of the dumbest things that will go through your head when you're sitting in that situation where you're half of your brain's mad, half of you scared, and then to compensate, just the weirdest stuff start going through your head. Like I just started laughing while I was laying there. It was like, why?
Did Lorraine PD ever tell you, or did you ever find out, was it a real gun? Was it airsoft? Or you don't even know at this point?
From what I saw and felt, pretty real gun. Now, Lorraine PD didn't tell me if I'm right one way or the other. I imagine it was.
I imagine you didn't have time to stare at it without them popping you in the back of the head, telling you to lay down.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I didn't have much time. And it happened. To me, it seemed like it took forever to happen, and then watching the tape, it was so fast. But yet everything seemed to just go in slow-mo. It was a weird feeling.
You're still working at the same place. How do you get up to go back to work at the same place after that happens?
Well, I went back the next day. Everybody thought I was crazy, but I can't. Someone told me, because they gave me a saying, they called me up and told me, is you can't let a moment like that define you, or, just change change how you're going to be. So I just told myself, okay, I got to get up, I got to go, I got to do this job. And it's hard. Even today was rough, but there's some days where it doesn't bother me at all, and then there's some days where there's people that still come in and go, oh, you're the one we saw on the TV. Yeah, and then they want to ask all the questions, and you go through it again, and then it's like, and then you got to, over and over again, you relive it. But actually, in a way, that helps, because, you talk about it with people, and you get through it. So it's just something you have to do.
Do you look suspicious?
To run away from anything.
Do you look suspicious at people every time someone walks in? Do you eye them up and down, just looking for, always knowing where an escape route is, anything like that?
Yeah, actually, a couple days after this happened, we ended up putting more security systems in, and we moved where I can watch the monitors as people come in now. But yeah, I catch myself, and I hate doing it. It's nothing against anybody, but yeah, I catch myself, eyeing everyone, especially if they come in the door and they kind of stop and wait for a second. I'm always, what's going on. If I get more than 2 or 3 people in the store, because I always work alone, so which makes it a little bit rougher at times. So, trying to watch everybody at once, and then, always look like, oh, hey, I'm laughing, joking, having a good time with my regular customers, and still be wary of, all right, what's this guy doing in the corner? Is something about to happen? It gets a little stressful, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, we only have a couple minutes left, so where are you at? What are the hours? Okay. What are your specials?
Okay. I am on Overland Avenue. It's called Smoker's Outlet. The best way to describe it is I am directly across the street from Redmond's Bowling. We have, of course, Smoker's Outlet, all kinds of tobacco, stuff like that. Also now, just gained our wine license. We had a beer license. I also have a wine license now. We sell many fine cigars, types of wines, and I am starting to slowly get more and more into craft beers at this store. So if anybody's interested in stuff like that, just come in, ask for Crazy Cousin Eddie or the Crazy Beer Guy. That's how y'all know me from the forums. There's something you're looking for, I can get it for you. Usually takes me about a week. Specials right now, especially in our wine. If you guys come in looking for wine or cases of wine, for parties or whatever, we do 10% discount on all our wines by the case. But other than that, yeah, it's Smoker's Outlet right across from the Redmond's Bowling on Overland Avenue in Lorraine.
And what are the hours?
Oh, my hours are Monday through Friday. I am 10 to 7. Saturdays we are 10 to 6, and Sundays we are 11 to 5.
Awesome. Alrighty, we're down to our last minute. Smokers Outlet for all your Super Bowl needs. Let's throw that out there.
Sure.
Stop out there, pick up everything you need. And remember, anybody else out there, if you got a business, you want to come on and talk about a business, shoot me an email, hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. You can do just like Eric did. Eric, we will see you on the Amherst forums, and stay safe out there and continue the craziness.
All right, thanks. One thing before I go, I do want to thank the Lorain Police Department for how fast and quick they did everything, and everybody on Facebook that helped share this and help catch these guys. I appreciate it.
Big thanks out to the Brothers in Blue.
Yes, very much so.
All righty. This is the Halls of Justice, and we'll be right back.
Would you like to be a sponsor or advertise on the Halls of Justice? Email us today at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. That's Halls of Justice, spelled JUSTUS, @roadrunner.com. If you have a show idea or like to be a guest, you can email us as well at hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. This is the Halls of Justice.
Welcome back to the Halls of Justice. I would like to thank both of my guests this week, Dr. X for her funny stories, and our favorite cousin Eddie, Eric Miller, for his stories and his very scary experience. Now, I also want to say thanks to everybody who's been tuning in to my weekly podcast. This is something new. This is only week 3, and I think it's gotten better progressively each and every week, and will continue to get back to the level that I expect it to be when we're all said and done. I'm trying to line up guests every week. That isn't always possible with full-time jobs and crazy schedules that different people have, and my whole family being sick, so I don't want to bring somebody down into the studio, which is here at the house, and get them sick. But if you have something you would like to share, if you would like to be a guest, then shoot me an email, Halls of Justice, and Justice is spelled kind of crazy. It's JUSTUS, like just us. Halls of Justice @roadrunner.com. So if you would like to be on, if you've got something to share, if you just want to talk about your business, I thought maybe one of these upcoming podcasts, actually, here's what I thought was like once a month, I would do an Amherst only podcast. We could talk about stories from Amherst. I could line up a bunch of business owners and we could talk about their businesses. How long has Ben Franklin's been in business, or how long has, the current owners of Amherst Cinema, how long have they had it? What do they know of the history of it? Things like that. So if you're a business owner and would like to be on the show and talk about your business, it's free advertising. Or if you would like to be a guest, you're not a business owner, but you got some funny stories or you have expertise in a certain area you'd like to be on the show, shoot me an email as well. And also, we are looking for a permanent sponsor for the show. And when I say permanent, I'm looking for somebody that could do, a commitment of a couple of months. Now, you're going to get free advertising every week. We're going to have a podcast every week, at least one. Sometimes we'll have a couple of them, and you'll get your advertising and the extra ones as well. So if you'd like to sponsor the show, or if you'd like to run a commercial in the show, if you want to be on the show, if you want anything to do with the show, you've got to get in touch with me. And the best way to do that is through email, because of my crazy schedule, but I can get email anytime. Email me, hallsofjustice@roadrunner.com. All right? So hopefully we get some sponsors lined up and get some advertisement out there. I got to let you know, we've been getting at least 100 people a week to download the show and listen to it. We'll see what the numbers are this week. It's increased the last 2 weeks. Like I said, this is only the third show. So the first show had 100 downloads. The second show had about 20 more. Hopefully this week I can get everybody out there to share it, get their friends to listen to it, get the whole area involved in it. People like it. and they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and so on and so on. And that's how word spreads. That's how the show spreads. That's how we succeed, and that's how everybody gains. So if you like the show, share it. You could share it on your Facebook. You could share it on your Twitter. You could tell your friends about it. Tell them to go to the link. Tell them to listen to it. And while you're there, click that you like it. Also, when you go to the link, you could click subscribe. You don't have to enter any crazy information, maybe your email address, and that way, every time a new podcast comes out, you are instantly notified. You could go to it and listen to it. You could listen to it while you're doing exercises on the treadmill. You can listen to it while you're doing the dishes. It's just a funny show that we talk about anything, crazy things, as you heard today. We're talking about stories from the ER, people working at drive-thrus. They're funny stories. Everybody's got a funny story or two that they need to pass along and have a good time with. Let me let you know what's going up with Music Masters. I run Music Masters. We DJ wedding receptions. We also DJ any kind of party that you may have that you need a DJ for. Next Saturday on the 4th, we are DJing for the Lorain County Blue organization at I think it's the 7th annual now, Pete Soto Chili Cook-Off over at the Lorain County Community College. There may be a few extra tickets lying around here or there. We sell out every year. Like 2,000 people will be in and out. We're giving away a Disney package. What that means is you're going to get airfare from JetBlue down there. You're going to get 4 tickets to Disney. You get 4 tickets to go to SeaWorld. You get 4 tickets to go to SeaWorld's water park, Aquatica. I think they're throwing in a $500 gift card that you could use towards lodging. We couldn't get anybody to provide lodging. I could get airfare. The tickets, those were all able to get fairly easily, but nobody wanted to throw in lodging, so I think the Lorain County Blue organization is finding a sponsor for a $500 gift card that you could use towards your lodging down there while you're down there. It's going to be a great time if you win it. They also, every year, they have between 75 and 100 different raffle baskets. So go check it out. If you're interested, call around to your local police departments. They're the ones that have all these tickets because it's run through the Lorain County Blue organization, and it's the 7th annual Pete Soto Chili Cook-Off. And that's what we'll be DJing that next weekend, February 4th, that is. Starts at 5 o'clock, goes to 10 o'clock. There'll be a photo booth there, and at least 20 different kinds of chili. I don't know how many groups they have this year, but just tons of them. Also, coming up at the end of the month, we have the bridal show coming up at the Inn in Oberlin. So you can check that out. Now, we do this bridal show every year. It's always a good time. That's coming up on February the 26th from 1 to 4, and that's over at the Hotel at Oberlin is what they call it. It's put on by Beautiful Bridal Show of Lorain County. So we'll be out there. There's going to be $100 cash grabs and door prizes. They have a fashion show. Harvest for Hunger is going to be putting on a 50-50. It's just all sorts of things for brides to be. If you're a bride to be, and you're looking for, your table covers, you're looking for centerpieces, you're looking for a DJ, everything that has to do, a florist, everything that has to do with your bridal, your wedding, your reception, they're going to have different vendors there. We're going to be down there. Bride's World will be down there. Parties to Go will be down there. The Tuck Shop will be there. So, again, that is on February the 26th from 1 to 4 at the Hotel at Oberlin. You'll want to check that out if you were getting married or you know somebody that's getting married. So we got a few minutes left to go on today's show. Again, thanks to everybody who's been tuning into this, making it a success, making it happen. I've worked a little bit about my resume. I started at WOBL in Oberlin, Ohio. 13:20 a.m. I started as a news stringer, which basically means you get paid like $5 and you go to the city council meetings, stuff like that, and then you call them in and you do the whole tonight's city council meeting, flames flew as council tried to pass an ordinance prohibiting frisbees from being thrown on city streets, stuff like that. Reporting live from Oberlin for 1320 News. So I started off that, and I knew right from the jump that doing news was not my gig, but I did it anyway. Until they opened a part-time position for a disc jockey. So I slid over from news to doing that, and I have to tell you, I was horrible. Yeah, but it was my first gig, and I was horrible. I learned a lot. So then I start thumbing through. At the time, it was called Radio and Records. That was the trade newspaper, come out once a month. And it would have job openings in it. And there was a news station that had just started up in Defiance, Ohio. It was WZOM, I think 105.7, 105.9. I don't even remember. But it was FM, and I was excited. They were playing your classic oldies. So they would play Rolling Stones and the Beatles. But they wouldn't get into like the Led Zeppelins and stuff. It was your oldie station. So I went out there and I worked the midnights for a couple weeks, but then I slid into the 7 to 11 spot. And that station eventually would go automated, which means there's actually nobody there. The DJs were all in Texas. And there would be a big machine at the station, and right before they would talk, they would send a signal, and the signal would be those DJs in Texas, whoever was on the air, you would put their stuff in it, and it would say WZOM, and then the DJ would start talking, so it sounded like he was there, but he wasn't there. But that's what happens in small markets, is they go automated. They start cutting things if they don't have a good sales staff. So I moved from there. I went to work in Findlay, Ohio, which is a beautiful city, awesome city. If I could make the money I do now and live in Findlay, I would move back in a minute. So I went to work at WHMQ, Jumping Country, 107.7 FM, and it was all country. I'm not really a country person, but I got to know country music. Worked there for about a year, maybe a little longer, and then a friend of mine who worked at the Defiance radio station became the program director at another radio station in Findlay, and I went to work for him, and that was WBVI Mix 96.7, and that's where I had a blast. I worked as a music director, assistant program director. I did the 10A to 2P shift, and we just had a blast there. It was so awesome. It was like going to work with your best friends and having a party every day. Eventually, that station started having some financial problems, so they moved it. That company owns 2 radio stations, the FM and an AM. The AM's studios were in Fostoria, Ohio, so they moved the FM in with the AM, so we moved from our own studios in Findlay to Fostoria, Ohio. And I worked for 96.7 there until, again, they couldn't sell it, and it went automated. So I bounced around. I worked part-time in Toledo at 3WM. I worked part-time in Clyde for a guy who screwed me over. And like I said, we've got some stories to tell. And I went back and worked at the AM station in Fostoria, WFOB, 1430 AM. I think 1420, 1430. Anyway. And the shifts there were a little different. Mostly I was on from noon to 6. Which was okay. Occasionally, I would do the morning show from 6 to 12 noon. And then eventually, I just got burned out on it. That is the most backstabbingest job that you could ever have. You wouldn't think it, but I have not worked in a job that has so many backstabbers, backdoor actions, conniving people lie to your face as working in the radio business. Would I do it again? Oh, hell yeah. I absolutely would. But anyway, that's my resume. I know I've briefly touched on it in the past, but that's a little bit more detailed. And like I said, I'm trying to get my buddy on who is in radio so we can actually talk about the inner workings of it, the funny stories, the things that happen that you'll never know about on the weekends when you're there supposedly by yourself, when you're doing remote broadcasts, when you're going to the clubs broadcasting there. I could talk for days about those stories, but we're not going to. So that's all for this week. Thanks for listening to me ramble for these last few minutes. I'm Justus. This is the Halls of Justus. Be sure to subscribe to us and follow us and like us. Shoot me an email if there's anything we could do for you. Halls of Justus, Justus, at roadrunner.com. If you want to be a sponsor, if you want to advertise, if you want to be on the show, I got to hear from you. I got to know. I need some feedback. It's the Halls of Justus. I'm Justus. I'll talk to you next week. Have a great week, everyone.